You might have seen my other videos on this Webster Chicago wire recorder. Since then, I've bought another 8 reels from the US. So in this video I want to share with you what I've discovered on those reels.
Got no diamond, got no pearl, still I think I'm a lucky girl. I got the sun in the morning and the moon at night. I got the sun in the morning and the moon.
So these are silver tone wires. Each one's about 7,350 feet, which is playback time of around an hour. So it's interesting to note, Silvertone as a company were formed back in 1916 by Sears, and they initially produced radios and then later started producing musical instruments, and Silvertone guitars apparently became quite a thing in the sort of 60s and 70s. They were sold to a Korean company in 1972, and I'm not sure whether Silvertone as a brand even exists anymore. This one says Mrs. Elise Ballhouse. I'm not sure exactly. Testimony pages 1 to 46, reel number 1. And inside there's a little advisory about the wire being lubricated and needing to clean the heads of the player. So let's have a listen to Mrs. Elise.
Proceedings. Opening statement by counsel for the respective parties of the record. The court. You can call your first witness for the plaintiff, Mr. Stewart. We will call Mrs. Eliza Blum. Eliza Blum, after first being duly sworn, was called as a witness in her own behalf and testified as follows. Direct examination by Mr. Stewart. Will you state your name for the court, please? Answer. Elise Blum. Question. Where do you live now, Mrs. Blum? Answer.
So the wires were often used for dictation, or in this case it's obviously been used to record the proceedings of a court hearing. I don't know anything about Henry and Elise Blum. If anyone wants to look them up, it could be fascinating to see what the court hearing was actually for. So there's 3 reels, all related to this single court hearing. So I don't think I'll play them all out because it probably will be a little bit boring listening to court proceedings for 3 hours in a row.
Mr. Arthur Denny, wait a minute. I'm going to object to all of this as irrelevant and immaterial. The court sustained. Mr. Stewart, may it please the court, I believe this is necessary to show that the witness acquired considerable wealth before her marriage to the defendant Heinz Blomer, and that she had the means with which to purchase this property, and that is the purpose of offering this evidence. The court, the ruling will stand as made.
That's our melody mix-up for today. If you can correctly...
This is Dale Samuelson on February the 5th, 1950. The preceding has been a program by the Big Tree Trio here at the residence of Dr. House. We're going up to Omaha this Wednesday night. We'll record some more music and have some more fun. We'll be back and put that on this wire too.
Let's get on to some of the other Silvertone reels. Now one of these did snarl, and unfortunately was this one. Yep. It wasn't wound on properly from the last time it was used, and there's nothing you can do about it when the wire snarls. It's just impossible to untangle it. So I've lost a reel there, which is a bit of a shame. So we can't play that one back. Next one here has Sam Balzer written on it. It's a fairly short reel. Obviously it's not the full hour. I've tied a piece of cotton onto the beginning of them, just so it's easy to feed it on. On the back here it has 1950 Christmas of home family. Okay, let's see what it has. Ah, so the wire's snapped. Now I have to follow the instructions that it says and just tie a knot in it. The trick will be finding the other end. That could be almost impossible in actual fact. It says a tight kink or loop will cause wire to break under tension. Well, that's probably what happened before. Avoid unwinding wire off machine. To splice, remove kinks or tangle section, which is what I did, using regular scissors. Tie the ends with a square knot and pull tight. Trim ends close to knot. Knots properly made will pass through open type recording heads with imperceptible interruption of playback. So there you go. Well, I found the end of it, so we just need to tie these together and then hope this one doesn't tangle in any way. Oh, it's terrible stuff to try and work with. There we go. It's jumped off the heads.
General Electric presents the Fred Waring Show. An hour of music, fun, and entertainment featuring all the Pennsylvanians and starring Fred Waring.
Hello, everybody. We hope you enjoy these Sunday night get-togethers as much as we do. We appreciate your telling us the things you like best. Last week you mentioned the block party and the way back when sequence and the General Electric songs. By the way, there'll be another one tonight about television and the 20-odd miniature tubes in which the infinitesimal potential impressed on the first video amplifier grid modulates the DC space current. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure General Electric does. Now something that's easy to understand, a simple, beautiful song called In the Still of the Night. In the still of the night.
Have you finished?
Yeah.
Have they finished this?
Yeah, thanks.
Well, come on, fellas, let's go. Hurry up. Hurry up. We'll be right with you, Captain.
Yeah, so this reel has a few tangles in it as well. It's probably as far as we can play it. So I've just rejoined it here, and we'll see if we can get a little bit further into this reel without it tangling up. Hopefully that will let us continue on. Let's see. Even if you cut a section out, at the speed it's going, it might only be like 1 or 2 second glitch, so you hardly even notice it. Oh, no, it's tangled again. This reel is a bit of a problem. See if we can rescue it before it's too late. There we go. Now I think we're going to have to remove this section here. Just removed a couple of seconds worth of music there. Retie it. Now I know why magnetic tape became popular in the mid-50s and why wire ceased to be a popular medium for recording. It's just too problematic. Okay, we try again. So the next reel, it's a bit knocked around, it has balls written on it. Thomas Balzer. So whoever Thomas Balzer was, we shall find out what he did with his recordings.
One in me, and I in thee, that they also may be one in us. May we continue our worship by using hymn number 213. O Master, let me walk with thee.
You know, it did. I did pass away as far as that organization.
So obviously this is some evangelical church sermon, church service that's been recorded.
So as time went on, and I continued my work in the evangelical church, things began to kind of change in the evangelical church. That is, to me, they did. I hadn't contacted the gospel up to that time, living side of an elder for 17 years, and had not mentioned the gospel to me, using great wisdom and judgment, I believe.
because I would have retaliated immediately with, of course, in such well, let me say, the enthusiasm of an evangelical minister, that he saw that it was wisdom not to speak.
Presenting the great Ziegfeld success, Rio Rita. Starring Burt Wheeler, Patricia Morrison, Hal Leroy, and John Tyers. And now, Rio Rita. Time, 1912. The place, Old Mexico. Or to make it even more romantic, let us say the place is Old Mexico. Which brings to mind serapes, shawls, sombreros,